What do you need to know in order to become Wiccan? Hi, I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com, and if you're new to the channel and you're wanting to feel more connected to nature, yourself and the divine, you're wanting to feel more empowered in your life, and you're wanting to create the life that you want to live with peace, joy and happiness, hit the subscribe button below so that you don't miss anything. Today I want to share with you some just really basic things about what you need to know to become Wiccan, what you need to do to become Wiccan. So number one is simply have that connection, or the desire to have that connection to nature. Wiccans know that we're all connected. It's like we say that, you know, we are the water is us, because we can, through practice, have the ability to really feel like we are the water and feel that connection to the water, for example, or any other aspect of nature. So to be Wiccan means that you have an affinity for nature, a connection to nature. It means being able to even communicate with nature and understand signs and meanings of messages that you will receive from nature. And it means also taking care of nature. So that means looking after the environment and taking care of nature as much as you can on an individual level. So think globally, act locally is very much a Wiccan thing. So that's one aspect of Wicca. And as far as the knowing is concerned, you just need to know about the environment. You need to know how to recycle. You need to know really basic things about how to take care of the environment, and also how to connect with nature on that sort of spiritual heart-to-heart kind of level as well. Another thing that you need to know as a Wiccan is how to work with energy. So working with your own energy, and also working with the energy that's around you. So being sensitive to energy and understanding the different energy of people that are around you, places that are around you, to know whether you're going into an environment where it's not, the energy is really heavy and you don't really want, it doesn't feel good to be in that space, and being able to then change energy and use alchemy to transform energy. So there are times when you can transform the energy of a space. And if you are into healing at all, to be able to help people transform their own energy signature, so they can start vibrating at a higher frequency and heal, whether that's physically, emotionally, or mentally. So it's understanding energy, which is really important. And there's so many different things you can do in relation to energy. Connecting with the elements, number 3. The 4 elements, earth, fire, air and water, and connecting with those elements both within ourselves and within the environment around us, and being able to work energetically with the elements so that we can create with the elements through magic, and also experience the elemental changes within ourselves. Sometimes we might have more fire than we should have within ourselves, and we might need to water ourselves down, for example, that kind of thing. So it's understanding the elements and working with the elements. There is also creating a sacred space, which I think I'm up to number 4, which is our circle casting. So that's a way of creating sacred space. And we do that for a number of reasons. One, we want to energetically make sure that the space that we're working in is neutral, as in regards to it hasn't got any energy in it that we don't want to have. And it's also on a psychological level as well, because we're creating space, a sacred space, so we can transition from the mundane, crazy, stressful life that often many of us have, to a quieter sacred space where we can then, once we've psychologically tuned in, we can actually then start to connect more with what's going on around us and be more of who we really are within that circle space. So the circle's really important from a Wiccan point of view, because we do use circle work in Wicca. Then there's, of course, number 5, you're looking at that connection with the lunar energy. So the lunar energy is working with the energy of the moon, drawing down the energy of the moon, that magnetic energy of the moon, and using it in spell work, using it for healing, using it for divination, and using it for all sorts of different things. So it's understanding the lunar cycles and working with the lunar cycles when it comes to magic, and also understanding the lunar cycles when it comes to what's going on around you as well, and your own moods and your own reasons for sometimes feeling a bit different at different phases of the moon. And just knowing that about yourself, it helps you know yourself a lot more. And number 6, we've got the Sabbats. So that's the sun, the solar calendar, the seasonal rites, and getting in tune with the whole cycle of the earth around the sun, and how that affects us, how that affects nature, how that changes nature. There's also astrological elements that affect us as well during this cycle, and how that affects things, and how you can work your path, your journey, your goals that to coincide with the Sabbats. There's connecting to deities, which is really important as well. So number 7, connecting with the deities. So the deities, a lot of people like to use the term the universe to sort of represent the whole unity of consciousness. If you maybe think of the deities as different representations or aspects of consciousness, and that there's, like when you see yourself as an individual, you're kind of an aspect of consciousness, and then the person next to you is also an aspect of consciousness. We're all one, but we're also a multiplicity at the same time. We're representations of different ways that consciousness is expressing itself in the world or in the universe. So think of the deities that way, that they're just different expressions of consciousness. Some are more conscious than others, the same as with humans and animals, some are more conscious than others. So working with deities, understanding the deities, working with spirits, working with angels, in a way that we don't just work within our so-called material ecosystem, which we're doing when we're connecting with nature and taking care of the planet. We're also working within a spiritual ecosystem as well. And that's an ecosystem that's pretty much the same as our ecosystem. You know, we have butterflies and nice fluffy squirrels, and then we have snakes and spiders, the same kind of thing in the spiritual ecosystem as well. Everything has its place, everything belongs there for a reason. Nothing is essentially good or evil, it just has a function that could be largely more destructive or more creative in its function, but understanding that we need both, because nature has both. Nature has creation and nature has destruction. And that is how life happens. So there are 7 or 8, I've lost count, of the things that you need to know on a basic level about being Wiccan. Now, you can be really good at tarot. That doesn't necessarily make you a Wiccan. It just means that that's one of the things that you like doing. You can be good at healing. That's another thing that a lot of Wiccans are good at. Some people aren't so good at healing. They might be good at other things. What you do in regards to your forte isn't necessarily related to being Wiccan. It's just related to your personal skills. Wicca itself is a structure, it's a form, and that's what religion really is about. It's about bringing form so that you have a structure to work within. And it's like you've got to, in order to be able to contain water, you need to have a cup, okay? So if you think of Wicca as this cup here, and then the essence of the practices, like the energy work, the connecting with nature, connecting with yourself, connecting with the divine, the empowerment that comes through the shadow work, and the connection and the creating that comes through doing all of the magic, is like what's in the cup. Like I've got water in this cup at the moment. That's what's contained in the cup. And if you're really wanting to work with the essence of spirituality, which we all want, and that's what we're really after, that has to be contained in a structure in order for it to be able to be more practical for us to practice. So if you think of Wicca and the circle work and the rituals as being a container, and the practices and the experiences that you have doing the rituals and doing the work as being the water or the essence within that container. It will help you understand the point of ritual. It will help you understand the point of having a structure. Why it's good to work the 8 Sabbats. They're a container for connection to the land. Working with the circle work is our ability to be able to have a structure, to be able to create sacred space. They're containers, and what we experience and what we're wanting to experience is what these containers can hold, but we have to do the work to do that. So if you are wanting to take your Wiccan practice to the next level and really get serious about studying Wicca, do have a look at the Mystery Witch School 101 course that I am running at the moment. I'll put the details to that in the description field below this video, where you can actually have somewhere to start practicing that's very structured so that you can start to experience that connection to yourself, to nature, to the divine, become more empowered in who you are, and start creating the life that you want to create. If you like the video, hit the like button. Don't forget to share it with your friends and subscribe. Blessed be. I'll see you on the next video.